All right, today we're tackling one of my most favorite topics, which is bulletproof coffee. So this idea of putting butter in your coffee usually blows people's minds, but think of it just like a better creamer. So instead of, say you like putting creamer in your coffee, or if you like a latte or a cappuccino, we're just using butter instead of creamer, for example. So it looks like there are a lot of things that go into it, but it's actually pretty simple once you kind of have the setup. So all I do is take my little butter here. For some of it, so this is about a tablespoon. That's pretty much what I go with. If I have 2 cups of coffee, I do about the same in each. If I do 1 big cup of coffee, maybe 2 tablespoons, but I always recommend starting with 1. Just start small. Same thing with the brain octane. Maybe do a half teaspoon or a half tablespoon, excuse me, when you first start. You don't want to overdo this stuff, okay? Read the label, it'll tell you all about it. So the butter and the brain octane, you could just add coffee and be done, and that's great. I use the Bulletproof Coffee. Apparently it's mold-free and all these other sorts of great things. I like it because it doesn't give me the Starbucks jitters. Nothing against Starbucks, but Starbucks makes me basically feel like my heart's going to jump out of my chest. So I use this stuff. You can try it or just use your regular coffee. It's all good. A couple other things I do. I like to put a little chocolate protein in my coffee. So basically, if that's the size of a scoop, I'll use, can you see that? I'll use about that or even less. This is kind of a small cup of coffee, so I'm going to use like less than a quarter scoop. I just like that for the flavor, to be honest. Not for like the protein content, but just for the flavor. I throw a little salt in, again for the flavor, and I'll throw a little cinnamon in. You don't have to do either of these. I like the cinnamon, and then if it's like a cold winter day, I'll throw a little cayenne pepper in there just to kind of give it a little heat. You don't notice it. It feels like the coffee is just warm. And then all you do, take your coffee, however you brew it, Keurig it, whatever, and I'll just put in basically about that much. So like a quarter cup full. And then you take your little handy dandy hand immersion blender. I like using this because it's easy to clean up. All you do, so making sure you only put a quarter cup in there, you put it all the way into the bottom so you don't create a huge mess, and then just mix it on low. And you want to go until it kind of gets a little frothy, so I'm just kind of pulsing it here. Just a couple quick little pulses, and then you're done. So then you strip that thing off, and this is in literal real time every morning. I'll just give this thing a rinse, and I'm probably going to get in trouble right now with Brittany, but basically clean, put everything back away, add the rest of your coffee, and this is the highlight of your morning, or highlight of my morning at least. Cheers. Ooh, super delicious. So that's Bulletproof Coffee in a nutshell. You can adjust the ingredients accordingly. I use a little bit too much cayenne pepper there. I'm kind of figuring out. I love cinnamon. Sometimes I use a ton of cinnamon, sometimes not so much. Some days I'll use a little bit more chocolate because I want more of a hot chocolate feel. You can even throw almond milk in there if you want a little bit more of a latte-ish, but play with it. Start small with the butter and the brain octane. It's a great way to start your day. This is breakfast. For a lot of people that we know do this, they'll have their coffee in the morning, and this will last until lunch, which is the case for me. So everybody's a little bit different. Start small, play with it, enjoy your coffee, have an awesome day. We'll see you guys again tomorrow.